Welcome and thanks so much for checking out this Softr demo. I'll take us through a little bit about Softr and give you the brief overview of how to get started. Softr is primarily a no-code platform that you can use to build any type of app you can imagine. Anything from client portals, internal tools, dashboards and analytics to so much more. And when you first log into Softr, you'll see your workspace. This is the area where you will be able to start building your app. And there are three main pillars to an app. We have, first and foremost, the data or the information that is behind an application. And there are two different options for this. You can use our own built-in databases, which I'll get into in just a second, or you can look at an integration. And this is a great way to actually connect to some other external data source that you may want to connect to, anything from Google Sheets, Notion, SQL, REST API, Supabase, and a whole host of others. The great thing about Softr is that you can actually combine data sources into the same application as well. And makes it really great for being able to show a bunch of different data from different places all under one roof, and even allow that data to filter, sort, search, create data in different places, which would otherwise be pretty difficult to do. So that's the first pillar, is the data. The second pillar would be the workflows. And workflows are where you can build out automations to automatically send an email when a record is created, or perhaps you want to send a Slack message when a task has been completed. These workflows are extremely flexible. You can create just about any sort of automation that you want. There's a lot of generic connectors. We have a lot of third-party connectors in there as well. And so it's a really, really flexible way to perform a lot of those kind of back-end actions and automations that need to happen inside of your app. The third pillar that we have inside of Softr is the actual app itself, right? This is the interface that your users are going to log into, they're going to be interacting with. You may have some permission data in there that they can only see or edit or create, or maybe you want to just disable login entirely. You can do that as well. And there are a couple of different ways to start with this. You can, of course, always start from scratch, but you can also start with a template as well. So we have a number of different templates here that you can pick from and copy to your own account. I'm just going to pick this client portal one and click Use Template here. And what this will do is actually copy the app interface itself and the database directly to my account so that I can get started playing and tweaking it and changing it to be what I need it to be. And our templates are a really good place to start. And we even have courses on this in our Softr Academy. We have help docs. We have a community forum, lots of places to go to get help. But once I'm in my Softr app here, every Softr app is made up of pages. Just like an app has screens, right? You have this in your Softr app as well. And there are two different types of pages. You have utility pages, which are kind of the housekeeping side of an app. They're where your users are going to go to, reset their password, log in, sign up, manage their account. And the functionality of these pages is kind of set, but you can, of course, go in and customize all of the fields that they're editing in their account. You can change the logo, the colors, the fonts, the copy on these pages, right? So there's still a lot of customizability that you can do there. And then we have app pages, which is where you'll actually go to build out the content of your application, right? You may not be building a project or a client portal. Maybe you're building an HR portal, right? And instead of projects, you have applications, right? You have a recruitment portal or something. And so you can build these pages to be whatever you want them to be. And the way that you'll build out these pages is using building elements that we call blocks. And these are really just like digital Legos that you can kind of snap together down and across the page even. And there are a lot of different types of blocks as well. So anything from static blocks that are kind of more navigational, informative. These are more of the website type elements of an app. These are things that are not connected to data in any way, right? Things like heroes, feature grids, right? Galleries, picture galleries, team sliders, FAQ sections, right? The things that every kind of app needs to display information. Then we have container blocks, which allow you to really customize the format and the layout of each of these pages. And this is great for multi-column formats, tab menus like you see here, and it really allows you to customize what each page kind of looks and feels like, and it's really great for building dashboards and all manner of different things. The last type of block that we have is dynamic block. And this is where you're actually going to connect to a data source in some way. And we have a lot of different types of dynamic blocks. We have everything from a vibe coding block that lets you prompt blocks into existence, whether it's a static or dynamic block. This is great for anything from calculators to building out custom card lists, custom image galleries that are connected to your data. Just about anything you can imagine. The sky's the limit with our AI vibe coding block there. But some of the other built-in kind of native dynamic blocks that we have are forms for submitting data back into a database if you want to give permission for users to do that. You can also create standalone forms as well. So if you don't need an app, you just need a form, you can do that from inside your workspace. Some other dynamic blocks that we have here, anything from list blocks, grid blocks like you see here, table blocks, kind of more traditional spreadsheet type views, calendar views, Kanban boards for managing pipelines, charts if you're into building dashboards and all of that sort of thing, and a whole bunch more. There's a lot of different dynamic blocks here to get started with. And these dynamic blocks are really easy to set up as well. So every single dynamic block can be connected to a single data source at a time, but you can certainly have multiple dynamic blocks on the same page. And each of these blocks is going to be connected to a source here. And I can choose, of course, what that source is. And I can also apply some conditional filtering or some pre-filtering to that source. So if I wanted to only show projects to the logged in user that they are a part of, right? That's kind of what these two filters are doing. Or maybe I only want to show projects that are not completed yet. You can use these conditional filters to control that. Then when you get ready to set up the actual content of this block, Softr is basically going to look at the data source, whether it's our own internal databases or some integration that you've set up. You'll basically be able to go in and choose which portions of the block show which columns or fields from your data source, right? And I can always add and remove fields here. So I'm really just going to toggle on and off any of the fields that I want. So maybe I want to know the end date of these projects. You can see that I toggle that on and now I have an end date on this card. And of course, I can rearrange these in the stack. I can select them and change how they display, labels, prefixes, the formatting of all of the options there. And of course, any styling options that I may want to change, like the font color, the size, the font itself, right? And so this is a really great way to get connected to your data and very, very quickly start building some things that connect to your data. And now I want to touch a little bit on the user side of things, because this is another powerful part of Softr that really lets you, that you don't have to set up, right? We've handled the user piece for you. And really all you need to do is basically tell your Softr app, okay, should people log in? Yes or no? And if they should do that, how do they need to do that, right? Do they need to use email password? Are you going to let them do a one-time code? Google sign in? We have SSO as an option as well. And so once you've decided that, you can also choose, should they be able to sign up to this app? Or do you want to control who is a user of the application, right? Do you want to provide a public sign-up page? We also have something called onboarding flows, where let's say I need to get some additional information from that user, like what company they're with, or I need them to complete their profile or upload a profile photo. You can put them into different onboarding flows and gather additional information at the first time that they log in. After you've kind of set up the authentication piece of that, you can also define who these users are. And you can always add users either manually or in bulk, individually or in bulk here. But the more common approach is to actually sync this with a data source of some kind. So in this case, I'm just syncing this to a database, a Softr database called users. And as long as we have an email address, we can create an account for that user. All the other things like name and last seen time and their profile picture, right? That's kind of extra. But the cool thing about syncing it with the data source is that you can also pull in extra information about those users that you may need, like their company, their role, their permission level, their status. And what you can do with those is use those properties of those users in those conditional filters that we talked about earlier to show them the things that they need to see. And another thing that I can do with the extra information is actually pull in user groups here to show maybe someone is a part of an admin or a client or an employee user group. I can show condition-based items based on who they are, right? A role, a status. And what these user groups allow me to do is then inside the app at a page level, a block level, and a button level, I can actually control what they can see and do inside the app. So let's say that I'm on the projects table here, and maybe I want to see all projects, on my dashboard. But let's say that, maybe for my projects, I only want this to be visible to logged in users who are employees, clients, or freelancers, right? But maybe for all projects, I want this to be visible to admins. I can set those user groups up so that people see different things when they log in. And this allows you to create very multi-sided applications, right? Instead of having to create separate apps for every type of user, we can just create one app, and anytime someone logs in, based on their user group, they may see completely different things inside of the app. Let me jump over to the data real quick, and I'll show you what the data on this side of the app looks like. So you can see that I have a database here. This is the users table that I have. I also have a list of companies. I have a list of projects, files, tasks, invoices, right? Anything that I want to store in my database, I can do that. And we have a lot of different field types in here as well. So anything from file fields, attachments, PDFs, images. We also have related record fields. So if I wanted to tie a specific task to an assigned user, right, I can do a relationship field back to that user. Anything from tagging and statuses to formula fields. So maybe I want to create some formulas to automatically set a status based on some other field in the database. And our databases are extremely flexible in this way. You can store just about anything you want here, and it makes it for a extremely easy experience mapping this data to the front end of the application while giving you full control over what the back end looks like, and also the ability to see all of the data, edit it, change the fields, whatever you need to do there. The other thing that I wanted to go over was actually just the workflows. And the workflows are a really great way to, again, build out some of these triggers and actions and automations that you may want to happen. So let's say that I wanted to create a workflow where for my client portal that I have, anytime a task is added, maybe I want to send a Slack message to a member of my team, right? Post a channel message here. I would connect to my Slack, and then I could send a message directly to my Slack channel saying, hey, a new task has been added. You should click here and go check it out. So that's a brief overview of Softr. Keep in mind those three pillars. They work in tandem. It's an excellent system that works cohesively either with outside data or even inside data. And we can't wait to see what you'll get started building with Softr. If you have any issues while you're building, you can always reach out down here in our chat support. We have real humans on the other side of that who are really, really excellent. They've fast to respond, and they have seen just about everything there is to see with Softr and can really help answer your question quickly. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the demo. Really excited to see what you get started building with in Softr.